I'm Al McFarlane. Thanks and welcome back to part two of my conversation with Jeffrey Robinson, talking about wealth, building wealth. He is one of the leaders at Build Wealth Minnesota, and they've got an exciting project trying to get 9,000 people into home ownership opportunity here in Minnesota. And I believe that they have patented an education system that they want to eventually take nationwide. And it's all about the story. And before we were cut off in the last part of this section, Jeff and I were just kicking it with his personal story and about sort of a analysis or synopsis about how wealth is created and what wealth is. And part of the challenge is for us to understand the difference between wealth and money. Wealth is something bigger, and that we should recognize that we have wealth and have had wealth, and it's wealth that brought us through the most horrific of living circumstances, even when we were through ancestors enslaved. Jeffrey, come on back in here, and I thank you so much for taking the time. This is like a master class you're walking us through, just the picture and how we recognize that in us is everything that we need, right? And that includes the wisdom, the knowledge, the suffering, and the victories of all those that preceded us that got us to this far. And the challenge then, not challenge, but the work now is to make sure that we each understand what our role is right now and how we get to be. You were describing people that come to build wealth. They think they're coming to buy a home and they get a home, but the real message and work is helping them discover themselves, who they really are. And that is the discovery of boundless wealth and opportunity. Am I saying that the right way?
No, absolutely. It's because we're known for helping families get into home ownership. But, when I read, our mission, home ownership wasn't in there.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you know, we recognize home ownership as being a critical component to building financial wealth that can be passed down generationally to our loved ones and making, life extremely super affordable, while at the same time, um, they don't have to go out and do what we had to do. They can continue to build on what we've done. But the thing that makes Bill Wealth, so unique is that is the teaching of just how simple how easy this really is. This is not rocket science, man. This is not rocket science. This is really about, like, I think about some of the young men in our community or women, that's out there pursuing a lifestyle via unconventional means.
Hmm.
And it turned out that the life that they're trying to pursue, doing it against the norms, is actually super affordable. And it don't take a whole lot in order for them to get it. But where we sometimes miss the connection is not having the right information being presented in the right way that it becomes relevant to us. You know, the way I think about, life and lifestyle is this. It's like going to buy a pair of shoes.
Hmm.
How much do the shoes that you want cost?
Hmm.
And then figuring out, how do I bring in or make enough money in order to pay for that? Let me give you an example. So the average person might think, some of my kids, you ask some of my kids today, and I've been in some schools, and so I said, what you want to be, young bro? I want to be a football player. I want to be a rap star. I want to be, professional basketball player. And so I'm gonna be real quick with this part. The thing I like about it is that they want to be, though I don't want to be a professional basketball player, but what I like about it is that they didn't say I want to be a basketball player. Anybody can be a basketball player. They said they wanted to be the best without saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the best at what I like to do. That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You got to strip the words out. Strip out basketball players. Get all that stuff out the way. I want to be the best.
Period. What I do.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Because they connect being the best with the lifestyle that they want. And so now we can have a conversation around just being the best. And so when you think about the life, right? So, okay, you want to be the best for these reasons. So let me show you what your options look like in case you need a plan B. Because becoming a professional athlete means you have to be disciplined in your time, disciplined in your training, disciplined in what you do and what you don't do, disciplined in all these other ways in order for you to become the best. So now we're not talking about becoming a professional basketball player. We're just talking about being the best. So let's say that doesn't happen. Then you just transition your being the best attitude to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what being the best can afford. And we talk about the life. We can talk about the lifestyle. So what type of house do you see yourself in? In what neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
What type of car do you see yourself driving? How often would you like to go out, go on vacation? How much do you think you need to spend there? Because remember, we're talking about a mathematical problem. This is a numbers. This is a numbers. That's all we're talking about. We're just talking about numbers. At the end of the day, and so like this computer program is being ran by a sequence of 0 binary codes or whatever the codes may be, a bunch of numbers. It's all the same. So we're talking about a bunch of numbers. And so you tell me that you want to live in a house that's going to cost you $3,000. You want to live over here, it's going to cost you $3,000 a month. You want to be able to save about $2,000 a month. You want, well, I'm gonna bring the numbers down a little bit, just for regular people, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you want to be in a house, $1,700 a month, and you want to go out of town at least. You want to go on vacation, it's gonna cost you about $5,000 to go on vacation. $2,000 get there where you want to do, and $1,000 for a hotel, and then $2,000 of spending money. So $5,000. That's what we're talking about. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that $1,700 a month mortgage payment, and I'm gonna multiply it by 12. That's $20,000 a year. $5,000 I'm gonna add to it because that's the vacation. I'm gonna say, well, you like to eat? What do you like to eat? You like to eat groceries? You like to go out to eat? How much do you think you spend a month for eating? About $500 a month. Okay, that's $6,000 a year. And I'm continue to add these numbers up. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna come up with a whole number that represents your salary. And I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna divide that number, and I'm gonna say, okay, based on what you're telling me, if you work a regular job that's 2,080 hours a year, we need to find you a career that pays $24 an hour. That's what we need to do.
Numbers
right now. Or we need to find you a career that pays this amount. So what are you doing right now? How much does it pay you? and what's the maximum that you can earn on that job, just doing what you do right now, without going up or going down. Just what is the maximum? And so now we can have a conversation about being the best on that job. Now we can have a conversation about being the best in that field, because it's just understanding that this stuff is the same. It's simple. It's very simple. Everything that you learn in kindergarten, third grade, is all you need in order for you to survive, and to really survive. And let's not talk about surviving, to thrive. That's all you really need to know. Is that if you're aspiring to be the best at whatever you do, I don't care what it is, you're going to be successful, because excellency has its rewards, and its rewards are great. Excellency has its rewards, man, and its rewards are great. Al, you point out a picture of your great grandmother who was a slave that you had an opportunity to have a conversation with.
Right there behind me there. Tell you about that. So this is her name was Lizzie Sponge Harrison, and she was born in 1864, I think, or 63. And when she was born, she was the property of other human beings. And just to say that gives me a chill, and also makes me angry, number one. But I also feel blessed and fortunate in that there's another picture I have downstairs where it's me sitting on the floor at her knees, right? She and my mother and her mother and some aunts and uncles are all sitting on the divan, and me and my cousins are all sitting on the floor cross-legged for this family type picture in the house of the patriarch of the family, who was one of my aunt's husbands, Mr. Powell. And I remember that once when I would visit to Mississippi at 3 and 4 years old, one time walking with her, I'm not sure what we were doing, but went to a shed, and the shed had a number 5 drum full of cotton, and the cotton was flowing over the top. And I was a kid. I looked up at it, and I reached my hand up to touch this fluffy cotton, like cotton candy, and she went whack 'em across my knuckles with a spoon that she had in her hand, and said, "Boy, don't you put your hand in that cotton. You don't know what's under there. You don't know." And so I remember that, number one, but what I remember about it is that here's a person who loved me, who I spoke to me, who cared for me. And now only, 7 years later, do I realize that this woman had been born the property of other human beings. And that's why when you tell me your story just off the plantation, that's all of our story. We're all a generation or 2 or 3 off the plantation and out of an experience. But you've also said something different about even that horrific situation, that there was something in us where we still found joy, and we still found the ability to create a story between us and among us that sustained us and kept us motivated to keep living and to keep moving and, pressing towards higher ground, right? We had the language primarily through the spirituals and the songs in the church that let us, gave us keys to living that shielded us somewhat from the horror of our condition, and that allowed us to thrive even in spite of, in a certain way. And it's what you call thriving. Are you doing what the slave owner is doing? Is that thriving? No, we're not doing that. But we have relationships, right? And we have this responsibility for caring and bringing new life forward and managing that life and launching that life into an opportunity that's called the future. And that in itself is wealth. So that's why I love this conversation, man. But exactly, we have come a way, but I know that we are destined as a community and as a people to continue to demonstrate, the power and the presence of, the will of the Creator is what I say, that we live bountiful, responsible, ethical lives that at the end of the day, we are the demonstration of what it means to be excellent human beings, and not
Yeah.
anything that somebody outside has tried to devalue and diminish us with. What do you think?
You know, and that's what and that's and that's what, like, you think about when we think about our core program is called the Family Stabilization Plan, the plan to stabilize our families, because that's number one. And stabilize our relationships, getting that true wealth back passed down, that wealth that says that the Robinsons don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, and this is me adding to it, is that for me, I recognize that I'm the fruit of my ancestors' dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
the seed of it. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's time for me to become. I want to live. I don't. I know that I was birthed out of that, but now I want to live the life that they dreamed that somebody down the line would once live.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still my life, but it's a great life. It's a good life. It's a life where I don't necessarily get to do whatever I want to do. I don't want to do everything. So no, it's a life that I get to do what I want to do, but I don't want to do everything. I don't need to own everything. I don't need to go everywhere, but I do want to enjoy it. And so when I think about Build Wealth and our curriculum and our whole programming, it's really about just getting people back to a place where, you know, where now it's time to, like, let's really just go after the life that you want.
Mm-hmm.
What's that thing you've been thinking about? What you've been dreaming about? Are you just here for home ownership? If you just here for home ownership, that's cool too. But
Mm-hmm.
don't. Why would you go into a store that somebody says you have access to everything in the store aisle,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even grab the grocery cart? You just go and grab one little thing off the shelf
Right.
and come back and say, "I got what I need." Why would you? Who would do that?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So the things that we believe that's necessary for helping families get into getting the life that they really want, the knowledge, the support, access to financial products and resources, and then the alignment with the connecting people to the things that we do not do. We work hard at doing it. I mean, we work hard at developing resources. Build Wealth, we have our own lending product. We have a first mortgage to help 9,000 Black families get into home ownership. We manage a number of different down payment assistance programs as well as our own. We have credit builder products to help families who need a little bit extra help building up their credit to get the journey started. We have a match savings credit builder product. It's not big. It's something small, like $300. You pay on a loan for $300 over the course of 12 months. At the end of that 12 months, the successful payments, we match it with $300. So that's one of the things that we do, and we're not a bank, but we are a lender. And but these tools that we've created is so that we can make access. We can make access with. We can make it accessible. So like because sometimes when you start this journey, if the step is too high, if the first step is too high, that person might walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But I just need to get the ball rolling a little bit. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. Just a little bit. Because winning is addictive. Winning is addictive. And it don't take a big win. It only take a very small win, because now I got something. Now I got something to remind me
That's
of
right.
who I am:
Here we
a
go.
winner,
Yep.
a champion, a person who goes out, fights the beast, and conquers it.
Mm,
You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And now we plot a path. When I talk to people about credit, you know how I describe it? I tell them there's some giants on your credit report that we're gonna have to go and kill
mm-hmm.
with extreme prejudice,
Mm-hmm.
because to get the life that you want is gonna require us to do some things that we probably hadn't done before or done in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready, because now nobody gets to the promised land without a fight. Everybody got some giants out there. And when you start walking down this road to really getting at the life that you pursue, that you see for yourself, everything is going to come up. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because you rather it come up now so you can deal with it now than it come up when you get to the finish line, when everything is said and done. They say, oh,
Can do.
we gonna have to cancel this deal because this just came up. So now, know that it's gonna come up, but that's because it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we clean out the closet, we cleaning out everything.
There we go.
Because the new life don't have room for it,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't make room for something new if we won't get rid of the old. You got to be willing. It's a compromise. It's a
Mm-hmm.
compromise. That's all.
Jeffrey, what a wonderful conversation. Let me ask you to just go through the poster we're showing so people know how to reach you and get the image in their mind. If this ad has been running, and another series of ads will be running regularly in Insight News, and you are taking this message to the people through this full page advertisement every week. Scroll down a little bit, Cooper, so we can sort of read the text on it. There we go. And I wanted you to also kind of walk people through this and make the invitation, Jeffrey, to people to come and see you and your team at Build Wealth Minnesota.
Thank you. And so the 9,000 Equities Initiative, it's an initiative that was spearheaded and started by Build Wealth Minnesota to help 9,000 Black families get into home ownership, because we noticed that the disparity gap was going the wrong way. While other communities' home ownership rate was increasing, ours is actually slipping. We went from 29 to 26, and I dare say it might be slightly a little lower today. And so we decided to find a way to close the gap by 15%. The gap between white home ownership rate and Black home ownership rate, that gap is actually 52 percentage points.
Mm-hmm.
And what we wanted to do is close that 52 percentage points by 15%, which equated to like 8,996 families, but it's 9,000 families. And Build Wealth wanted something that we could do that we could not do alone, because it's going to require us to think outside of the box. It's going to require us to partner with other organizations, institutions, and like-minded individuals who have the same passion as we do to helping Black families get into home ownership. So we've gotten together with 16 organizations that's putting boots on the ground and have boots on the ground to get into home ownership. We have down payment assistance. We have realtors. We have lenders, and other nonprofits, organizations that provide educators and connectors throughout the community to connect families that they're working with, changing their lives back to this initiative. For information, you can reach us at 612-871-9000, or you can go to our website, which is www.9000equities.com.
Great invitation. Do you work with only first-time home buyers or others as well?
No, this is if you're not a homeowner, we work with you. It doesn't matter where you're at. This is to get families into home ownership.
Do you work with companies with families that want to upgrade their home or get different housing, or is your focus
Yes.
just on the ones that are already in the first home buyer mode?
So when we think about that 9,000 count, that's for new families getting into home ownership. However, we work with all families, especially those that's looking to upgrade, because you don't buy your dream house the first shot out.
Mhm.
You can try, but it could be difficult. You might find yourself in a little financial budget stretching
Sure.
trouble. But if so for those that's looking to upgrade to get to that next level of home ownership, absolutely reach out to us. We have the resources that you need in order to help you get to where you're going.
Jeffrey Robinson, Bill Wealth, Minnesota, Senior Program Director. Brother, as always, thank you. I learn, and I'm lifted by both the story and the tone. The message and the messenger both bring a certain delight. We'll see you next time. I'm Al McFarlane. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.